All right, so today we're going to discuss is Olandria Carthen pretty? She is a cast member from Love Island. So Olandria has been described as a beautiful, dark-skinned black woman. Her rise to visibility sparks debates about colorism and who is considered beautiful. She is admired, but she is not the default or prioritized beauty type in America. So, yes, even though she is widely loved and recognized, like visual reality, her features would not be popularized. So, even though she is widely loved and recognized, the American beauty standard historically prioritizes light and light medium skin tones, Eurocentric features, and it still has its huge influence on society today. As we see, this is reflected in makeup stores, fashion stores, and even magazines, where we often see shade ranges, light shades, medium shades that are moderately represented, and deep shades that are less and often added last. So the truth is, visibility is not the same as prioritization, because in beauty standards, we have to know which standards are the most prioritized, right? A dark-skinned woman can be loved, admired, reposted, praised, and still not be the standard. This is the part people confuse. Individual admiration does not rewrite systemic hierarchy. At the end of the day, my statement stands because it's grounded in observable patterns, fact, and not personal bias or emotion. The reason why I'm talking about this because I went on a Facebook page where someone posted an image of Olandria, and the girls in the comments were fighting about her looks. And one girl said she's not pretty. Another girl said she is pretty. Another girl was like, please stop lying. I said, I agree, not because I don't like dark-skinned black women, but because visually she's not close to pretty privilege. Delusion must end. I did say that. I'm just saying, like, with all the knowledge that I know about the American standard of beauty, she could still find a husband. She's always going to be someone's preference, right? But I'm saying, like, to really be real about pretty privilege, there's a hierarchy in pretty privilege. And so I'm not going to say she's at the top. A girl comments under me and goes, it's like saying I'm not racist. But the reason why this person said that is because they didn't like the fact that I was pointing out the visual reality of beauty politics, pretty privilege, right? So she read my comment through her own emotions. She got sensitive, assumed that any critique of a dark-skinned woman equals an attack on all dark-skinned women. And that normally happens when you talk to black women about beauty standards. They get very offended. You have to watch what you say. And she jumped to colorism even when the statement was about her features, not even her skin tone, because that's what I was talking about. That's what I was really focused on, her features. This is common in human nature. People can't accept beauty levels in visual reality because oftentimes people want to blur it, you know? And right now we're living in the last days where people are more obsessed of being right and blurring beauty identity because, you know, evil, ugly, evil, average people want to do things in the dark that are wrong and twisted. And they do this to attempt and to control the narrative of beauty and to keep people blind. But visual representation is always going to be looked at closely because someone is always going to stand out in visual representation. And so we're always going to compare and contrast that as to, like, you know, she's cute, she's not cute, you know? And because majority of the time people like people who are visually appealing, you know? It's just in our nature. God made us that way. So she wanted a response from me, but I kept my word just as I did. She could take it how she wanted it. If she think I'm wrong, it is what it is, but I'm not obligated to elevate the image of somebody to avoid someone else's discomfort. That's not the reality of life. The point is, the visual reality of American beauty standards matter. She needs to do her research and acknowledge the truth, recognizing that some realities are fixed on a standard and cannot be revised simply because she wants it to. So the American beauty standard has always prioritized lighter skin, Eurocentric features, and acknowledging that reality isn't an attack, it's an analysis. And if someone wants to argue with me, they're not arguing against my clarity. They're arguing against decades of documented hierarchy that they simply don't want to admit that is true. And no debate can change what my evidence already shows. So is Olandria Carthen pretty? No, she is not. Because she is not the template that America centers.